It all comes down to this, Steelers fans. Steelers versus Ravens, Saturday night, wild card weekend. Winner moves on, loser goes home in the best rivalry in all of football. Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and on this week's preview, I got keys to victory. I've got team trends. I'll let you guys know what the Ravens want to do. I'm going to let you know how the Steelers can beat them on Saturday night, and then I'm going to be sharing my official score prediction for this wild card matchup between the black and gold and those dreaded Ratbirds. We will be going live for this football game on Saturday, guys, starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be going live for 90 minutes of pregame coverage. We're also going to be breaking down the end of the Chargers-Texans game, the kickoff game for the wild card round on Saturday afternoon during that pregame show. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button to never miss any of our watch parties. Hopefully we have multiple postseason watch parties this year. But also, guys, click that subscribe button to help us beat the Ravens Rundown, our arch rivals here at Steelers Talk, in the new subscriber battle. This week, the Ravens Rundown and Trader Joey have gotten 76 new subscribers. We've only added 73. We're 3 subs away. So if you're watching this channel for the first time, if you've watched our channel for a little bit and you haven't clicked that subscribe button, help us beat the Ravens right now. We are counting on you guys. And Trader Joey has a message for Steelers Nation.
34-17. Does that score ring a bell, Steelers fans? Well, you're going to be seeing that same exact scoreboard in just a couple of days because my Baltimore Ravens are going to destroy you on Saturday night. Prime time, second game of the playoff season. Everybody's going to be watching Russell Wilson throw another pick six to Marlon Humphrey. I hate y'all.
You heard him. He hates you. So make sure you click that subscribe button right now and show the Ravens flock who's boss. Steelers Nation runs this division. We all know that. We can't lose to the Ravens on the field. We can't lose to them off the field either. Click that subscribe button to help us out. So before we get into this matchup here, let's kind of take a look back here. Week 16, or week, I believe it was 11 here, between the Steelers and Ravens. Steelers won, and they held this Ravens offense to 16 points. It was 18-16 final. The offense obviously didn't have a phenomenal day that day, but they made enough plays to make it happen. They turned the Ravens over 3 times in that football game, and they got the job done, all right? So if you're going to tell me right now the Steelers have no shot at beating the Ravens when they're fully healthy, I mean, just look at what happened earlier this year when the Steelers were fully healthy. They held this team to 16 points, and they ended up winning the football game. But when they didn't have George Pickens, when they didn't have multiple defensive starters, and when Russell Wilson threw a crucial pick 6 in the fourth quarter, you end up losing that game 34-17. And it looks, honestly, that game and the final score looked a lot worse than it was. The Steelers were very much in that football game in the fourth quarter on the road in the stadium that they're going to be playing on Saturday night. And that's where we leave it right here. For, the division, the Ravens got the AFC North crown. Great. I would rather have the playoff victory here. All right? This winner goes to the divisional round, and their hopes for a Lombardi trophy are still alive. The loser goes home. So this is for all the marbles here. All right? The Steelers may have choked the AFC North Division Championship. If they beat the Ravens on the road in the postseason, none of that matters, and you move on to the divisional round. Also, it also sounds like it's going to be a snow game in Baltimore. There's a pretty darn good chance that there's going to be snow on the ground on Saturday night, so it's going to be a classic AFC North environment for this classic rivalry on Wild Card Weekend. And, you look out of the last 10 games. It's not out of the last 9. It's out of the last 10 games. The Steelers have won 8 out of the last 10 versus the Baltimore Ravens, even despite the loss earlier this season, all right? And that is mostly because Lamar Jackson stinks against the Pittsburgh Steelers, all right? And what are the 2 areas that Lamar Jackson shrinks the most? Number 1, playoff football. Number 2, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Guess what? Both of those things apply for this football game. You take a look at Lamar Jackson's career playoff statistics, less than a 60% completion percentage. His yards per game is way below his career average. His touchdowns per game, just 1, and he also averages an interception per game as well. And then you take a look at his stats versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Once again, less than 60% completion percentage. Once again, less than 220 total yards. 23 sacks over 6 games played that he played the entire game for, and he only has 8 total touchdowns to 9 interceptions. All right, so Lamar Jackson is not somebody that plays well against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But now shifting to the injury front here. And, both these teams are relatively healthy, but they have a couple people banged up. Dante Jackson is questionable with a back injury to start the week. We'll keep you guys updated on his status as the week goes on. Mike Tomlin sounded optimistic that he might play, but honestly, I would think about putting Corey Trice Jr. in his size and his ability to tackle on the field over Dante Jackson. But then Mason McCormick, he broke his hand. He's getting his hand casted, and he's expected to play in this football game. So you can say whatever you want about Mason McCormick. It hasn't been a stellar rookie season for him, but he's a tough son of a bitch, man. You can't take that away from him. But when it comes to Zay Flowers, the wide receiver, their number one receiver, their Pro Bowl wide receiver, the only receiver in Ravens history to make a Pro Bowl, by the way, is questionable to play with a knee injury. And early in the week here, it's certainly looking like he's not going to play on Saturday night in the wild card matchup. All right, so that is huge, and that is really significant for this matchup, and we're going to talk about why later in today's show. But the teams that the Baltimore Ravens beat this year, lots of good teams. All right, they killed the Buffalo Bills. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals, a winning football team, twice. All right, they beat the Washington Commanders, a 12-5 football team. The Buccaneers made the playoffs and won a division. They're 10-7. They beat the Broncos, another playoff team there. The Chargers, another playoff team. They beat us, another playoff team. The Houston Texans, another playoff team. They have won 9 games versus teams with a winning record this year, which is why many people consider this team to be one of, if not the best team in the National Football League right now, because anybody can beat bad teams. The Baltimore Ravens, they tend to beat good to even great football teams. But the teams that they lost to, there's a couple of losses in there that really stick out. The Las Vegas Raiders, a 4-13 ball club, and the Cleveland Browns, a 3-14 ball club. And then the other ones, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Philly, playoff teams. But these two right here are definitely sore spots for the Baltimore Ravens this season. But they really cleaned up those tough losses in the latter half of their season. So you take a look at what you can expect from the Baltimore Ravens schematically. This is obviously the third time we're covering the Ravens on a preview this year, so you guys might already know this. But Todd Monken is their offensive play caller. He's done an awesome job there. He runs a modern pro spread offense, lots of shotgun, and lots of spread formations, but he also implements a lot of under center I formations, heavy formations that I expect to see a lot of in this football game as well, utilizing the size and the speed of Derrick Henry. Then Zach Orr runs kind of the Mike McDonald style, aggressive 3-4 type of defense that we've seen around the league this year, really take it by storm, and he's really done a great job in this second half. This defense is playing lights out to finish out the season. So let's talk about the offensive side of the ball here. Obviously, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are the big playmakers here. Right? Lamar Jackson might be on his way to yet another MVP trophy, and honestly, Derrick Henry might win Offensive Player of the Year this year as well. I think that's going to go to Saquon, but Derrick certainly has a great season as well. Zay Flowers, if he plays, will be significant. Rashad Bateman's had a really good second half of the season this year. Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely might be the best tight end duo in the National Football League. And because of all the talent that they have, guys, this is probably the best offense in football that we're dealing with here in the Baltimore Ravens. They're third in points scored, first in yards per play efficiency, first in red zone touchdown percentage, top 3 and third. I mean, they're first or third in all of these categories, all right? You don't see teams in the top 3 in all these categories ever. That's how good this Ravens offense is this year, and this is a Steelers defense that played better last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, and they're still very good on third down. They still turn the ball over on you. They're still top 10 in scoring defense, but you can move the ball against them a little bit, and they do give up some touchdowns in the red zone from time to time. So the points per game trends here, the Ravens are scoring 30.5 points per game, and the Steelers are giving up 20.4. So you cross-reference those, and that would predict 26 points for the Baltimore Ravens on Saturday afternoon. Then we shift to the defensive side of the ball here. Kyle Hamilton is their really stud player. They've kind of moved him to more of a traditional strong safety role, and he's been awesome in that role in the second half of the season. Marlon Humphrey is the guy that got the pick 6 on Russell Wilson back in Week 16. Matt Abuike in the middle is a really good edge rusher. Odafe Owe and Kyle Van Noy have done a really good job on the edges here in the second half of the year. Nate Wiggins got his first pick 6 of his career. The rookie out of Clemson has had a phenomenal rookie season. So you take a look here at the numbers between the Steelers offense with Russell Wilson and the Ravens defense here, and they've really come on here in the second half of the season. First half, they were one of the worst defenses in football. So the fact that they're top 10 in scoring defense, top 6 in yards per play allowed for the entire season is really a testament to how good this Ravens defense has been over the last 6 or 7, 8 weeks or so. Then you get to the points per game trends here for the Steelers and Ravens. On this side of the ball, Steelers are scoring 23.2 points per game with Russell Wilson in there this year, and the Ravens are giving up 21.2 points per game. So that would predict 23 points for the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road. And if you've been keeping up, that would mean a 26-23 Ravens win. But this is slightly within the margin of error. All right, so the margin of error here when it comes to these kinds of things is 3 points. All right, so this is certainly a matchup that you can expect to probably go right down to the wire on Saturday night. So still to come here on the Steelers Talk preview here. Might be the last one of the year. Hopefully it's not, but it might be the last preview here for a while. Keys to victory versus the Ravens. Wild card score prediction is what's coming up later in today's show, so make sure you guys stick around. But before we get into the rest of today's content, I have a word from our sponsor here at Game Time. And Game Time is the best place for you to get tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. And Game Time is a brand new feature on their app called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. All you have to do is select the Game Time Picks button at the top of the screen when you click into an event you want to go see, and Game Time automatically filters through their entire database of tickets for that event to find you the best prices on the best seats with the best views so that you and your family can get the best possible deals for the tickets that you get. So what I love about using the Game Time app is you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event. All-in pricing so you don't get slapped with a crazy fee at checkout, and flash deals so you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to game time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. It's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. All right, so my keys to victory here. I got 5 of them here for Wild Card Weekend. First one is to execute the Lamar Jackson plan. And Mike Tomlin has defended Lamar Jackson in a similar way every single time he has played this Ravens offense throughout his career. And he's done a phenomenal job. We showed Lamar's numbers against Pittsburgh earlier in the show, and they're not very good. All right, and the reason why that is because this is what the Steelers do. They live in single high coverage, so they always have that extra guy in the box. All right, they charge and they use charge and scrape techniques to deal with Lamar Jackson's rushing threat ability in the read option. Then they put more bodies in there, and they also send blitzes. They send at least 5 men blitz packages against this Ravens offense more than any other team does when they play them. Also, double A-mug looks on third down, give one-on-one opportunities to T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith on the edges. And then also, if you maintain lane discipline, you can get to Lamar Jackson with those 5-man rushes. And if you hold up in one-on-one coverage, he's not going to have options deep. All right, so I break it all down in a video we put out a couple weeks ago. I told you Tomlin's secret strategy to lock down guys like Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, like they did earlier this year. You guys can check out that video. I'll put the link to that one in the comments and description of today's show. Second key to victory: to beat the Ravens and move on to the divisional round. Don't let King Henry beat you. All right, because I don't think Lamar Jackson's going to play a stellar football. I mean, he honestly didn't play like a super stellar game back in week 16, in my opinion. Derrick Henry is the guy that can beat you, and the way that he does that is he just pounds you and pounds you and pounds you, pause, until you completely suffocate in the fourth quarter. And you just can't allow that to happen if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be much easier said than done because this is a Ravens team that blocks their ass off. And then you got Derrick Henry, who's not only huge, but he's also really fast, and he's got great vision. He's got the best stiff arm in the game. He's one of the hardest people to bring down, and he almost never fumbles. Nick Herbig was really lucky to get a fumble on him early back in the first matchup that these guys had. And honestly, I'm not sure if you're going to get another one this season. Now, if Zay Flowers is out, and it's looking towards him not playing on Saturday, I would expect a lot of heavy formations. I would expect Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, their 2 tight ends, to be on the field pretty much at all times. I would expect Rashad Bateman to be really the only outside receiver that gets any sort of love. And I would expect them to put Patrick Ricard, their really good fullback, in there for most of this game as well. They're going to try to pound the rock. They're going to try to run the football. They're going to try to get outside, and they're going to want to try to get Lamar and Derrick Henry going in open space with bigger bodies on the field. And because of that, I would like to see Corey Trice Jr. and not Dante Jackson at CB2 because Corey's got those long arms and he's the better tackler. Then we get to the offensive key to victory for me, and I put out a video on this earlier this week, guys. You got to let Russ cook. You got to put him in shotgun. You got to spread things out, and you got to let him be a distributor. Because let me tell you something, guys. If this Arthur Smith-led offense goes out there and they do the same old plan where they try to establish the run and they try to just hit their head against the brick wall time and time again, it's not going to work against this team. All right, they currently lead the league in yards per carry allowed at just 3.6 this year. I think the second best team is 3.9. So this team is the best run defense in the National Football League. Michael Pierce is a stud as a nose tackle. You're not going to be able to move him. So you're going to have to get creative. You're going to have to do the game plan that you did against the Cincinnati Bengals when you scored 44 points. passing the football 38 times with Russell Wilson. So this is how you let Russ cook. This is the formula right here, guys. You go pass heavy from the jump, right? You don't do the predictable run on first and second down shit they've been doing all season. Run the or pass the ball on early downs, all right? Give Russ options in those early down situations and avoid third down entirely. Spread things out, all right? Give people space to work and get people out in open space. Also, put multiple receivers on the field. I don't want to see a 13 personnel package in this game the entire game, all right? I don't want to see it. I don't want to see Michael Pruitt in there. I don't want to see Connor Hayward in there. I want to see Darnell Washington used sparingly. I want to get receivers out there, and I want to get speed on the field against this Ravens defense. Then I want Russ to get short and deep options so that he can decipher whether to bomb it down the field if they play up or to throw it underneath if they sag. Okay, do that. And then also lean into the running back screen game. Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris are really good in open space in their respective roles. They did a great job in Cincinnati back in week 13. If you lean into the running back screen game to replace the run game, I think that would be very beneficial for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. I break down all of these major things in a video we put out earlier this week, breaking down how to let Russ cook and bring back the offensive production here in Pittsburgh for the postseason in a video we did earlier this week. I'll put the link to that one in the comments and description of today's show as well. Fourth key to victory to beat the Ravens this week: win the turnover battle. All right, plain and simply, this Ravens team, is a very good football team, both sides of the football. They've been the most dominant team in the league, probably in the second half of the year, and there's a lot of people expecting them to really compete for a Super Bowl, and that's for a reason. All right, so if you're going to win this game, the Steelers defense, which is first in turnovers, needs to show up. They did it in Week 11 when they forced 3 turnovers and only had 1 turnover of their own. In that football game that they won 18-16, and then the game they lost the turnover battle 2-1, and of course that final one, the pick 6 to Marlon Humphrey, was an absolute backbreaker. So Russell Wilson needs to do a good job, just like he did last week against the Bengals, of protecting the football. He had 0 turnover-worthy plays in that football game. He needs to do that again. And, you can't have any stupid fumbles. You got to take care of the ball, and you got to get on a damn fumble if these guys put it on the ground. Then the final key to victory here: it's going to be to make the play in the fourth quarter. And, this rivalry is always close, and it's always low scoring. And it always comes down to the team that wins, and the team is usually the Steelers, making a play in the fourth quarter, whether that's a last-second touchdown drive, whether that's a game-winning field goal, whether that's a big strip sack, all right, whether that's a fumble of some sort. Special teams play. You never know what the play is going to be in the fourth quarter, but the Steelers want to win this game, and it's going to be a close one, guys. You got to make the play. And you know what? People are going to call me crazy, and I can understand why. But I'm going to say the Pittsburgh Steelers pull this thing out. I'm going to go 20-16. Steelers win. I think that Zay Flowers being out in this game will be significant. I think that the weather will benefit the Steelers in this football game. And, I think that a lot of people, the thing that I've learned about the Pittsburgh Steelers, when everybody counts this team out, that's usually when they play their best football. Baltimore Ravens are smelling their own farts right now. 4 straight wins with at least 17-point deficit. They're feeling good about themselves. They think they're going to kill us. I think not. All right. I'm going to go 20-16 Steelers win. If you think I'm crazy, let me know down there in the comments section. I might be, man. Maybe I'm drinking the opium. Maybe I'm just, I cover this team every day and I'm just super biased. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. I got 2016 Steelers win on Saturday night. Let me know your score prediction down there in the comments section. Appreciate all of your guys' support, man. I really hope this isn't the last preview we have this year, but the Ravens are a really good football team. I am picking the Steelers to win this week, but I have no qualms about the Ravens' ability to potentially win this football game either. It's going to be a real fun one, man. We're going to be going live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday, at an hour-and-a-half pregame show followed by live play-by-play and extensive postgame coverage. Hopefully the Steelers can pull off the upset and we can keep this train going here in the 2024 NFL season. And I'll see you guys on Saturday. Click that subscribe button to never miss a thing.